Parminder Kaur. That's my name. My age is 31 and I come from India. See, this is something closer to Indian food. Dal makhani, the sarson da saag, tandoori chicken, rajma, parathe and bangan ka bharta. A film for Berlinale Talent Campus. Food Taste Hunger. The film is all about my desire to come to Berlinale and at the same time my inability to think of a concept on the given theme, which was food, taste and hunger. I eat food every day, man, but can't bloody think of a concept. Food, food, food. I think I should brainstorm with my friends. Food, the first thing that comes to my mind is my mother. So I love her food. So for me, food represents, my mother's food and hunger to me is McDonald's and Bush and all this entire race of weapons. And so I mean it was various random thoughts which were coming to my head, and at the same time I was thinking, how will I get the money to make the film? And I really wanted to come. I've never been to Europe. I would love to see it. I've bought some CDs and Lonely Planet too. The first few things that I have noticed from the hostel to here was fun. It's cold. so that's precisely the first thing that hit me, because it was strong breeze and snow. So I just went like that. As a filmmaker or as an artist, it's important for anyone to experience different cultures, be it architecture, be it food, be it language, be it music, be it dance. It's very important to get that exposure.
So can you tell me your idea about global citizenship?
I think global citizenship, if I see myself as a global citizen, I think I'll be somebody who will act locally. If let's say I'm in Berlin, I have to wear thick clothes and I have to cover myself because it's cold. I cannot be in the dress that I would be in India. So you have to act locally, but you have to think globally.
Yeah. So do you think that the Berlinale helps global citizenship?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very good concept, because first of all, I'm meeting people from 101 different countries. There's one girl from, I'm not sure, Estonia or some similar country, and every day she comes in a traditional dress.
Yeah, I think I saw her today.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to see her, because she is representing that culture.
Exactly.
Like I am not wearing anything Indian except this bag, I guess. So, but she's representing that culture for me, which is very exciting, because I've not seen it before. So just witnessing it, talking to her, I get the entire history, culture, background.
Do you think that it is important to represent the culture you come from?
Sometimes the cultural or religious or ethnic or any kind of identification also limits you, because like I wanted to dance always, I wanted to learn dance, but I could not because it was not supposed to be done in my culture and religion. So till a point I took it, probably till I was 15 or 16, and after that I just let it go. I said no, it limits me too much. So I think a balance somewhere has to be there, because you have to understand, or you have to go out of that small little box you're in. It's important for you to adapt to the world vision. At the same time retain probably your core thought, as long as the core thought is there and not the form. I think it's quite fine. I am very much Western in my daily life, but again I retain my food and my thought practices, and I feel to a very extent that I am that global citizen, in spite of living in India, where I would like to live for the rest of my life. So if I can adopt, and if similarly other people can adopt the vision, where I think it will work for everybody. I think it will work.
Do you see a risk when different cultures get mixed up in global citizenship?
No, not at all. I think it makes it much more richer.
Yeah.
Because you get to know there's so much information that you might not know.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that I'm learning here which probably I'll never learn in India. So the mix of cultures always, I think, brings the best of both. In fact, you can witness it here because we are all from different countries, different cultures, different languages, but we are all doing so well together. In my room, there's one Mexican girl, there's a guy from Moscow, and I'm from India. We all come from different countries, different time zones. So when I'm sleeping, they're awake, and when I am awake, they're sleeping. So I wake up very early and they wake up late, etc., etc. So the languages are different, the cultures are different, but at the same time, we're all, working very well within the same room.
Yeah.
So it is working because I guess we are all respecting each other's space a lot. After 9/11, there's so much backlash in different countries, Europe, America, and then the new case of the Danish newspaper which published the cartoons. I think both the sides need to really understand and respect each other's. Probably one religion or culture needs to understand the other cultures or countries' independence for it to express its humor, if they see it in the humor, or that country also needs to understand or respect that a particular culture if they don't allow, or if that culture doesn't likes a particular representation, then I think they should avoid making fun of it, because that's where the clash comes from. As long as you give each other space and respect, it's all fine. So the first thing really is the thought. You just have to open up your mind to different ideas, different cultures, different people, different languages, different food, different dress sense and everything. That's the first. Second is, I think, patience to understand. People generally lack patience. And I think I'm a very patient person. So that's where I am able to see, because what people tend to react to is the superficial things. I mean, if somebody gave a certain look, you just get offended by the look, but you never go beyond the look. You never try and understand why the look and where the look came from. So that is something which you have to probably look beyond. But those are bigger issues. Anyways, I'm hungry now. I don't think I'm going to get this idea.